up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. You can tune in from work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait? It's a time calling. It's a show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show of people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's all we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will happen like I got blue skies. And nothing make people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody got time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice our opinion.
And we say welcome to you this morning. This is the 17th day of April 2024. We welcome you to the program this morning. I'm Nuri Muhammad, and we have a program lined up for you as usual that you can participate and be a part of. The premier conversation in Belize every weekday morning. We normally start off, as you know, with certain preliminaries. We get that out of the way. This morning with Michelle Augustine will be our main person from the Met Office this morning, and then we'll give you an update on the weather for on the news for this morning. Stay tuned.
Good morning. A moderate eastern northeastern fair weather conditions. The forecast is for sunny skies with cloudy spells today and partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be isolated except for a few more over the south. High temperatures will peak at around 86 Fahrenheit along the coast, 92 Fahrenheit inland, and 76 Fahrenheit in the hills. Overnight temperatures will be about 79 Fahrenheit near the coast, 71 Fahrenheit inland, and 64 Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds will blow from the east to northeast at 10 to 20 knots, producing choppy seas. We are currently experiencing a low tide, and high tide will occur at 11 minutes to midday. The moon will set at 8:35 this morning, and the sun will set at 9 minutes after 6 this evening. In the outlook for Friday and Friday night is for continuing fair weather with only isolated showers. In the sargassum forecast, satellite imagery continues to show high concentration of sargassum over the area. Therefore, there is a high chance that more sargassum mats will continue drifting ashore during the next several days. And that concludes this morning's weather forecast produced at the National Meteorological Service. For more information, you can log on to our website at nms.gov.bz.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Prem FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Making the rounds on social media is a memo dated March 28th from the Cabinet Secretary to the Financial Secretary and all Chief Executive Officers in the public service, announcing a salary increase for CEOs of 15%. As of March 13, their salaries have gone from $76,300 to $88,000 annually, a difference of almost $12,000. In the case of the Cabinet Secretary, who is the head of the CEOs, he was receiving $81,000 in 2018, and with this change, he will now be receiving $96,000, an increase of 18.5%. The salaries of CEOs were last increased in 2018. In 2022, their salaries, allowances, and benefits saw them receiving a grand package of $113,540. That included transport allowance of $1,350, living and entertainment expenses or allowances of $1,500, and telephone allowance of $250 that they sought to be increased to $600 monthly in November of 2023. However, that was rescinded following objections from the unions. The entertainment allowance has been cut by $750 during COVID, but was restored in 2022. With regards to this latest increase in CEO salaries, police officers have now started their own agitation for a salary increase for them as well. They are sharing their discontent in a form of a WhatsApp status. They state, quote, "Nurses and CEOs get raised in salaries. What about us? The men and women who protect our streets every day and night, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Don't we also deserve a raise?" End of quote. In the past, government officials have defended increases in allowances for CEOs, saying that they earn way less than the CEOs in the private sector. The Public Service Union, PSU, has condemned the increase in salaries for the CEOs in the public service, retroactive March 13th, the day after the general elections. The PSU, in a release today or yesterday, stated that this is being done in a time when government continues to owe public officers 3 increments, which are equivalent of 7.5% in salary adjustment. It also notes that approximately 40% of public officers earn less than $20,000 per year. PSU President Dean Flowers said that the increase at this time, when there is no new budget, is also questionable.
There was no indication that this matter was tabled before Cabinet, that it came as a result of approval by the Prime Minister. We're all being taken for fools by the PUDP. The same thing that this administration accused the Barrow administration of is the very same thing that they do. They come with these type of retroactive payments for which there has been absolutely no budget approval. We know for a fact that within the supplementals that were passed in the last fiscal year, there was no provision for salary increases for the Cabinet Secretary or the CEO caucus. What's even more surprising is that in our good faith conversation and discussions, with the government negotiating team led by Honorable Cordell Hyde, Deputy Prime Minister, and Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Chris Coy, they would have given us their undertaking and their commitment that we will embark, this administration will embark with the support and sponsorship of the IDB to undertake a comprehensive salary review and salary restructuring exercise. And so, given that undertaking, everybody's salary would have been looked at, and it is expected that everybody then would be compensated as fairly and as justly as is possible. So given that the government has given this undertaking to the PSU and the joint unions, it smacks, it's a disrespect to the entire collective bargaining process. It's a disrespect to the government negotiating team, in my view, because in essence, they're saying, we don't care what you're doing on the larger scale, we're looking after ourselves. I dare say, 75% of them would have never been enjoying the compensation package that they're currently enjoying in the public sector, in the private sector. And so for a lot of them, they're on cloud nine, because they would have never, the private sector would never offer some of them, because some of them are simply not qualified to hold such prestigious positions.
The PSU is also asking for an increase in transfer grants by $300 as mandated in their collective bargaining agreement, and for public offices to receive a retroactive payment owed for transfer grants since 2021. The president of the Belize National Teachers Union, Nadia Martin Callis, also reacted to salary increases for the CEOs in a brief statement to their membership.
I've heard your cries, I've received your messages and everything. My action is going to take directly to your demands. The BNTU has seen a number of persons who are normally paid from the public purse receiving increases as it pertains to their salaries. We have been asking for our frozen increments. We've been asking for outstanding increments. We've been asking for salary upgrades. There are a number of things pertaining to salaries that the BNTU has been asking for. The BNTU must say that in certain areas, we recognize the strides that we have made, and we're happy about it. But the cost of living today is not one that we can sit idly by and ignore. So every time we see certain persons being paid and our educators are suffering, we are now saying to you, the government of Belize, that the BNTU will be meeting with its affiliates and caucusing with its membership, because we're getting ready to take action. Give us what is legally ours. It is time and past time that we see our salaries.
Officials from several line ministries met to discuss ongoing erosion impacting the Placencia Peninsula, and in particular recent issues regarding structures that impede the natural flow of sediment, sand mining, and others that led to beach erosion. One particular case is a rock wall on the beach led residents to action in March. The government, in a joint release today, stated that it will immediately work on identifying and rectifying human-induced factors that are contributing to the situation. Considering also the impact from climate change, the release says that the government, quote, appreciates the community's engagement and understands the urgency of taking action to safeguard our properties and our social and cultural livelihood, end of quote. They have therefore drafted a plan to address the issues. It includes community engagement to chart a way forward, enhance regulations and enforcement against violators, issues vagrant or of approved projects that may contribute to erosion, the pursuit of studies for informed decision making. Cabinet will be appraised of residents' concern and steps to be taken. The University of South Florida is currently conducting research with involvement from the community and the government. Concerns and observations can be emailed to complaints@environment.gov.bz. In related news, Dangriga Representative Dr. Louis Zabani has continued with constituency meetings after the elections to hear the concerns of residents. Erosion is one of the bigger problems for the coastal division that Zabani says will have to be addressed along with other government agencies. He spoke on this as well as other work he expects will be done during his term and the work that continues from the last administration.
Erosion is a very grave problem for our constituency and all coastal communities. In the last term, we were able to work with the Ministry of Sustainable Development, and we had some Cuban scientists that came and did studies. They recognized that a lot of the material that has eroded is within a half-mile distance from the shore under the water. That in their experience in Cuba, they informed us they were able to reclaim quite a bit of their beaches. So we're hopeful that with a project that's under the Ministry of Economic Development, that we would be able to start that reclamation and doing it, of course, in a sustainable manner. So that is one of the priorities. Many of the people who come into my office, I continue to have interaction with them on a weekly basis, and I visit their homes even after the election. To some of their surprise, of course, that we're there after the elections. But there are a number of things that they want to hold me accountable for that I said we'd be working on. A lot of it has to do with drainage and street construction of streets. A lot of the larger canals that are blocked up. So there's a lot of infrastructure work that needs to be done. And in this term, we're also hoping to have a new bridge that will be built farther west that would link the new areas, area called Third Site with Wagerale. So that's something that we'll be working on. But things that started in the last term are full speed ahead. For example, the concreting of the road from Drums of Our Father all the way to Commerce Bight Port. And then the construction of the multipurpose park is full steam ahead. That's a $4 million grant from the BTB. And it is coming to life as we speak. And then I am about to meet with the people from Radical Center. We're now getting ready to hire more people for the second and third floors of the building that they now occupy. So those things are ongoing from last term, and so I'm excited to see that they are continuing and benefiting the people of the constituency.
That's our news package for this morning, 17th day of April 2025. There's more news coming up after the program that follows us. That is the Morning Stew. That should come up a little bit after 12. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, there is a news brief on Creme Radio, and also on Creme Radio at 5:15, there's a full news broadcast. Here on XTV, we bring you the full news for today at 6 o'clock this evening. It's now 11 minutes to 7 o'clock. We'll take a short break and open the phone lines and begin our conversation for this morning.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information. Local, regional,
right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Thursday. It's actually our last program for this week. As you know, we don't come on tomorrow, and that day is Good Friday, and is pretty much no broadcast is on, except for most of the time it's just music. And so we won't be here tomorrow. Our numbers here is 280-5848. You're welcome to call and weigh in on whatever issue that is on your mind, or maybe you just want to stay back and see what comes up from here. Well, you know, we try to make sure that you lead the program in terms of your issues rather than us bringing up our issues. We didn't get a chance too much to talk about the cruelty of the animal last week, and I want to weigh in on the fact that I attended an event a couple of weeks ago, and next door to where we were, there was a dead horse in the drain, and the host of the place, you know, the man that put on the little thing that we went to, said that that horse had been misused by the youths in the neighborhood. Run the horse, didn't feed the horse, didn't give the horse water, and the horse just dropped down. And so it made me, you know, reflect on this. You know, you want to have fun when you're young. All of us are guilty, I guess you'd say, if there is guilt in it, of, you know, running animals, chasing animals, having fun with animals. But, you know, maybe I can't ever remember us being cruel like that to animals. If we chase the animal, it was to chase the animal not to death, but chase the animal, have some fun. But this idea of taking machete and chopping animals and things like that, I can't quite recollect that we had that kind of instinct. But Cliff and I were talking about during the days, and this is way beyond the time of perhaps most of our listeners, but there was a time where on Kinnell side, next to where Rogers Stadium is now, there was a slaughterhouse. They used to call it slaughterhouse. And used to have people who slaughter the cows. And one or two times their eyewitness, and he too witnessed. This guy, I don't even going to call the name, but he used to get in there and stab up the animal before slaughter. And, you know, this was like an excitement, a thrill for us to be able to go and see this. But it was cruelty to the animal. I mean, it was savage to the animal. The animal would eventually be slaughtered, but for him to be abused like that before the actual slaughtering. But, you know, we were excited to see that. So I guess there is something in there as youth to maybe be excited. Maybe our compassion is not quite developed at that point. I don't know. But I felt bad when I saw the video of these young boys chopping this helpless animal in the way it was. And then to overhear the owner saying that they got something against me, why they never do it to me instead of do it to my animal. And then surrounding issues around, instead of going after me, then they go after my animals, you know, that sort of thing. It became even more complicated than just a couple of kids. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Belize and Belizeans. Sister Yaya.
Hey, good morning, sister.
Two quick reports.
Uh-huh.
And I know that today, the day when I walked from Victoria Moore to the Belize City the all Belizeans now. You better get your foundation interest African descendants visualized as black. So, the way the African inspired hairstyle, to serve black children that Belize students and employees can be expanded to the Ministry of Labor in the public sector or private sector that black people have one right to go to work, go to school with a natural hairstyle, protected hairstyle, locks, buns, twists, whatever it is they want to wear. So right now, I left this out. It was a good time. I didn't get better. I left this up 5 o'clock after daybreak earlier in the spring season. So right now, I approach Caribbean Fire. So it's a good timing.
Well, good time. Yeah. That's selling.
I'm impressed with myself this morning, and I feel good too.
Yeah, that's 2 hours. Wow. That's a good walk.
I know, if I listen to my body, I know I'm not in a shape, I didn't get in a shape. And I'm 59 next month. So,
Hey.
yeah. I thought I take care of myself. I feel I look good, I feel
You
good.
look good. You look good for 59.
And the next thing, what has been of interest on air, since I worked on this campaign, I give thanks to the new Minister of Transport, and so back in a real time yesterday, putting me in contact with the people, then because I asked them, when Central Transit bus company, the Blue Bus, will go to Lloyd Bank and Ladyville, what are the schedule for the holiday? So that last year I started and you have one terrible experience last year. So to see the schedule from XTV Facebook page. But the Easter schedule for Good Friday, Large Bank bus the left 6, 8, 3, and 5. For Large Bank tomorrow, 6 o'clock a.m., 8 o'clock a.m., 3 o'clock p.m., and 5 o'clock p.m. From Belize City, 7 o'clock a.m., 9 o'clock a.m., 4 o'clock p.m., and 6 o'clock p.m. One more time. The Blue Bus there from Belize City, so Large Bank, 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, a regular Sunday schedule. But then I usually go post the schedule, so most people don't even know what kind of Sunday schedule. But anyways, it's important that I know, like Friday, I usually the top day, Good Friday. And remind Belizean people that only the people want to save the people. One love.
All right, sister. Thank you. Yeah. That kind of advocacy, especially for the hair, one would have thought that was settled by now. And for her to still have to be out there making a statement about the hair, it's an amazing thing. But it's not only Belize going through this thing about African hairstyle, it's other countries likewise. And it's specific to African hairstyle. And because other ethnicities wear different hairstyles, and there's no question, it's not a too long, too short, whatever. It seems to be focused on this African expression through hairstyle. And it's amazing that we're having that in 2025. Our numbers here, 280-5848. And all respect to you, Sister Yaya, for maintaining that kind of single person protest. Not worrying about if there's a group or if there's just herself. She's out there on her own conviction, and this is not the first protest that she's done. Our number again, 280-5848. I guess the big thing internationally is still the discussion surrounding the tariffs. There's been a 90-day pause on the tariffs. One would assume that we are in the 90-day phase because we were part of that 10% tariffs on most countries. But there was also the question of the $100 or $1 million put on the vessels that were coming in with our products. Welcome, caller, from China.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sir.
I want to put my 2 cents or kind of also want to know this here issue that I keep hearing for several months, maybe a year or more, in the schools that children are not accepted and so on. I remember when I was a young boy, I used to like my cornrow and so in my hair, but growing up from, say, from boys to men, I recall traveling and going to different work sites and seeking for employment. And more than one occasion, I was told that one of the requirements is my haircut. Because at some point I have afro too, and I had my afro very high. And as you and I are familiar with the Nation of Islam, in the Nation of Islam, those grooming, nice gentlemen, brothers, FOIs, etc., they are groomed, simple means, well attired, well haircut is well done, everything. And I don't believe that they tell them to cut their hair because discrimination against African descendants. But I simply understand it as growing from boys to men. So when you become a man, when you teach a child from small to until they become a man, in matter of fact, you don't have to teach the men because you already teach the child. So in some cases, I kind of believe or observe that people insist that the boys must go to school or to the work site with whatever hairstyle. But I repeat again, if you educate the child from boys to men, you expect that child, as in the Nation of Islam, of child respect too much, well groomed, and that includes the hairstyle. Then I told my son used to travel around Belisita, Daddy, I can't find no job. I tell her, watch, you really want to find a job? Go and attire yourself properly. And as soon as he did that, they hired Wesley College as messenger. And then the man said to me, you know what, if I have the hairstyle, because he's like, I tell her, the way he looked like one of these street boys. Then nobody know how to give her no work. And they happen now. She said, no, but that's the African style. I said, no. They said the cultural African style. I tell her, look here, I never see Nelson Mandela with it. I never see Marcus Garvey with it. I never see Martin Luther King with it. I never see Malcolm X with it. So I don't know how you determine that this is culture. But it's only my opinion. Respect to you, Brother Nuri.
All right, Brother Ramadan. Very good points this morning, indeed. Here's another call. Welcome, caller. Welcome.
What's my morning?
Yeah, morning, brother.
Yeah, well, for the news in the talk about malaria.
Yeah. No.
But over 20 years, the nice people can go on the street behind our police station, but nobody seems to want to fix a dam. The picnic on the outside, man. No?
Yeah.
But the picnic on the outside, make $120 a head. I mean, I make back clean money. So if why could be it, why cross the side, I can't do. Lecture in Ghana, corner, 2 parts to that pool, let's say, over 20 years. You are telling nobody can use the initiative and try to bring up back the pool, man.
Yeah.
Teacher, we pick it up for him. For the East South Club, we got back.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got some bigger heads out there. We need to do something.
Yeah.
Set that as priority. One tell us, sir, police station, may adopt it. Pick it up, man. At least pump it out before we pick the guy in here dead like what I need the garage on the other day.
Yeah.
No? Now, I scan. You watch that every day. The past me live on here. I live on the third street. But so society could do better than that, man. Bring her back the pool.
Yeah.
Please.
All right,
Society
brother.
has to have a heart. Come on, go.
All right, brother. Yeah, it's easy, you know, these projects are just priorities. I mean, we know that the mayor has been doing a number of initiatives. We know that Mr. Mala has been doing a number of initiatives, and we know that Cordell Hyde has been doing a number of initiatives. And just last week, we had Honorable Usher here about the initiatives that he's taking in the Port Laihola area. And there are more initiatives. What this brother is talking about is a pool that really can be revived. That, and it's not the first area that we're talking about, that the City Council or the Ministry of Infrastructure Development can spend time in developing these recreational space. And now that you have this new Minister of Sports, maybe that's an initiative, you know, developing swimming in this area, especially on the south side. The only pool that I think we have on the south side was that initiative by Maud Williams. If you remember, that must have been over 30 years ago. That was a Dickie Bradley project that never did get off the ground. But it was a good initiative, and it would have provided a space for young children to learn how to swim and other things. There's the one in the YWCA, right off across from the Atlantic Bank. That's a good initiative. That's a place that a lot of children have learned to swim. There's also one at, I believe it's the Ramada. There's a big pool at the Ramada, and you do have children coming in there likewise. But I think what this caller is saying, and he's right, that deep inside the south side, you have a number of areas that you could in fact build a pool, large pool, and get some kind of swimming lessons going for our children, or just recreational space for them. Our number here is 280-5848. On the issue of hair, and Ramadan spoke about the Nation of Islam and the hairstyles. This issue of hair is a big thing. My recollection of when it became an issue was in the 60s. And we hear people talk about woke, but they have the wrong understanding of woke. Woke in its original format meant to be conscious of unspoken of history, particularly black people in America. Much of what they had achieved had not been talked about. And so woke spoke about that level of contribution, but it became understood by different groups of people. So woke to some people is a bad word. Welcome, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I am very concerned the way how these kids and what happened to the horse. I saw that one of the students then that was in Mountain Pine was hitting the horse. I am concerned that the same student that was hitting the horse with the machete that was charged was abused back in Mountain Pine Ridge also. They say hurting people hurt people. When the Prime Minister closed down Mountain Pine Ridge, these children was put out in society because of closing down Mountain Pine Ridge. I am concerned that they created those students. No. I am concerned because the Mountain Pine Ridge is closed down. Now 21 is closed down. What are we putting out there in society? Monsters. And the system created these monsters. When they were in Mountain Pine Ridge, and it's all over the news that they were abused back there. And it's so sad that these children, these youths has been abused. And the same young man that was hitting the horse with the machete was abused. Hurting people hurt people. I am saying that we need to get counseling for these children. We need to all the people then that is on board with youth and different organizations. Yes, they abuse the horse, but this young man was abused also in Mountain Pine Ridge by the BDS.
You know that the Commissioner of Police, I mean the one that is actual commissioner now, because we know that Dr. Rosado is coming in as commissioner, But Chester William made the statement that if these youths are in fact having a psychological issue, and you're making a point there, that, you know, not only are they committing a crime, but they actually are in need of some kind of counseling to deal with them.
Yeah.
I think he made that point also.
Yeah. I'm saying this because I was on Mountain Pinage with them. Last 2 weeks, I got my letter saying that my post is no longer available by Minister Anthony Mala. I can stand. I'm a certified home care nurse. I was the matron for the Department of Youth Service. I got my letter after 17 years of service to the...
Yeah. All right. Look like we lost. Anyway, our number here is 2805848. Her point about hurt people, you know, it's cliche, but it really means that those persons who have been treated and in a way that had a lot of trauma and a lot of pain in it, that they're hurting, and that these are the persons they say who hurt people. It's a cliche, and it's not necessarily true, but I understand what it means, is that if you were abused, more than likely you will become an abuser. It's not necessarily true, because some people who are hurt make sure that they don't hurt other people because they were hurt. But it's a cliche, I don't know where it comes from, hurt people, and so we kind of automatically say that. But it's not my experience that everybody who has been hurt are those who are abusing people. No, it can come from a number of different ways. But she's saying her experience is that the young man that she saw hitting the horse was a young man who was in a program that she was in, obviously. Anyway, our number here is 2805848. Now go back to the idea of the grooming of the hair in the Nation of Islam. The code in the Nation of Islam was about cleanliness. From your wake till you go back, go sleep. Every part of you should be clean. The only time you should be dirty is because you do dirty work. Other than that, you should be clean right down to your nails, every part of you. And so the low haircut was considered one of the easiest way to bathe, clean, shower up, and groom. So you very rarely saw those who were part of the Nation of Islam, men, with an afro, because afro is considered that you have an amount of hair that would increase the need for you to keep it clean. And so the low haircut became something that was identified with the Nation of Islam. Now, it wasn't that afro or higher hair was condemned or forbidden. It was just discouraged because everybody around you had a low haircut, and so you automatically sort of fell into wearing a low haircut. And even today, that low, what is known and called by barbers covades, this covades low cut is still identified with those members of the Nation of Islam. But I say again, Islam does not require that your hair be high or low. It requires that your hair be clean. And so you'll find many Muslims whose hair is very high, some of them very low, some of them in plaits, some of them in different styles. But the common denominator of all those styles is that it is clean. Now, there's been an issue surrounding hair for a long time. There's been an issue of a cultural war, so to speak, when it came to hairstyles. In the 60s, hairstyles became a means of showing your protest against the system, particularly the Afro hairstyle. I don't know how it became Afro because it's not necessarily a hairstyle in Africa or has its origin in Africa. Really, I think it's a marketing ploy that was referred to as the Afro, because we didn't see Nelson Mandela with it, we didn't see Julius Nyerere with it, we didn't see Joshua Nkomo with it, we didn't see Robert Mugabe with it. This was African leaders, and they didn't have no Afro. So Afro was a created thing out of the American, Black African-American language development and Ebonics, etc., etc. Afro referred to a hairstyle that went up and up and up, and it was popularized in the 60s. Again, I say because the hair was looked down upon, not the hair was looked down upon. We're called, there are many names for the African hair. I mean, it's dynamic, it's electrical, it's nutty, it's all kind of thing, but it's soft, nice. But for some reason, it became associated with Berber and when they used to call it Cliff. Anyway, we were made to think that our hair was ugly. We were made to believe that even the girls who saw you could go through the hair, that hair became soft hair, or that became good hair. And those of us who had hair that was so electrical and so intricate that the comb couldn't go through it, it became tough head, and it became all kind of bad association. So naturally, as a child who want to associate with what is good, we wouldn't go towards that, we went towards the other style. And I could remember, and I probably give this joke so many times on air, that there was a commercial called Brill Cream. Brill Cream was the hair oil, and the comb during the time of Elvis Presley was a little small tooth comb. He was able to do that with his hair, but we couldn't get that through our hair. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Brother Nuri.
Good morning, sir.
It's the voice crying out in the wilderness.
Ah, how far out?
What is happening with that program that was supposed to get these gang youths out into the bushes to do some farming?
I can't answer that, my brother. I do know that the plan, according to the minister, is to look at the whole LIU, Leadership Intervention Program, again, and to fill in the gaps where it was left out. And one of the areas was that initiative, taking the youths out and coming up with a program. So I imagine that is going to be one of the areas he's going to revive or try to get revived. But there are other areas where it was successful. For example, Tubal, it was able to graduate several young persons from that Tubal program, incapacitate or to build their capacity, I should say, to get jobs in hospitality and welding and some of the other areas that they got at that. So like every program, you know, some of it was working and some of it still need to be addressed. And you have consistently called over the last year asking about that program.
It's over 5 years going on 10 years. This program was supposed to get started. The land was donated and given.
Yeah, it wasn't 10 years. It wasn't that long, but it was a long time, yeah.
And one of the guys that I think would have been good with that program out in the bushes, planting thing, has now been killed and buried. Brandon Baptist, I think he would have been great in that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
Based on what he was doing in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's things you hear about and things you hear about. Most of the times, the bad comes out more than the good.
Yeah.
But from what I have seen behind Colby Foundation, all these guys fit in with the farm, the black factory, the wood workshop, given something else to do, they can do other things besides just being violent. But for some reason, money seems to be the problem. A decision cannot be made. There has been interdiction after interdiction. There has been SOE after SOE, and basically nothing has changed because the guys have not been given a choice of doing something else. And I keep calling and finding out why is it that a program like this, that you will get these guys out of the streets of the city, get them out into the bushes and have them farming. You're growing your own products. You're doing your own cooking and stuff like that. They would even be doing carving. I have seen these guys come, know nothing, and they start, and after a week or two, you're surprised how creative these guys can be. But if you're out here in the city doing basically nothing, what is expected of you? I keep calling and wondering why is it this program is taking so long? Why? Why? It's about 10 years now from the Barrow government. This program was supposed to get started. And now we had 5 years of PUP Johnny Briceño and nothing has been done. We keep doing intervention after intervention and nothing seems to be working. So why is it that we don't try something else? Maybe I'm wrong, but I would like to be proven wrong. That given a choice out in the bushes, that these guys would not change. I close with that. Good morning, Belize. Good morning, Brother Nuri.
Thank you very much, Carly. You're on point, and I can't disagree with you. The reasons why it hasn't been done wouldn't even make sense for us to try to articulate it. But you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right in calling it out, and you're right in calling it out based on both administration. So it's more than just a PUP thing or a UDP thing. It is us taking something as serious as that. The program inside of the prison is an excellent program for preparing these guys for the kind of work that they would do in the bush, as you said. But there is no continuity from what they learn in the prison to a structured program that they could continue when they leave. The similar situation, as you pointed out, with carving. There's a lot of woodwork that is being done behind the prison. As a matter of fact, certain special doors that you see people have, these well-carved doors, they're purchased from the prison, being made by inmates in the prison. These inmates, when they leave the prison, should be able to go into one of these Madisco or one of these other areas that deal with carvings and doors, etc. But the continuity is not as well developed as it should be. What is going on at the Belize Central Prison is the opportunity to do a lot of training. And if there's a connection between the training there and the continuity out here, it would be an ideal situation. Instead of having to bring the guys in and train them out here, many of them are already in a situation where they can get that training at the Belize Central Prison. And then with a structured program, they can come out here, go to the land, or go to some of the other training that they have gotten while they were there at the Belize Central Prison. So more conversation on that when we come back. We'll stop now for 2 Cents Camp, which is brought to you by Fort Point Security.
You're watching WUB, and this is XTV. And I tell you, I just made a circle boat, right? they look for a story and I mind my own 2 cents. When I gone around this neighborhood here, I buck the people here and they give me for their 2 cents. And for their 2 cents that it does on this street here, we never get a chance for even get wet. You know, for even get wet. Now, they people here got for their own 2 cents for how they feel, like how for their street never fix. When the place does see, it does see. I can hear your 2 cents for how you feel like how this dust they affect you on your street.
Well, right now, it does not really give me that type of effect, but other people, I think, get that effect or complain about it does. I think so. I can't really.
What you don't want to do, or how they could help, if fixing the street, make the dust lay down.
Bring in the graders.
Pave the road.
Pave it. Yeah.
Good morning. The dust they affect we very much. We right here back at Genosha Boulevard, back at Col Thompson, we forgetting. So even driver, they drive past, like I know people now live back here, they no got no conscience. We tired of all of dust. One truck come, every Sunday go spray in the water. Then everything all day, Monday till Saturday with the solar dust. We are pleased, we plead to whoever responsible for fix the street. We not call no name because we don't know. But we want please remember we live back here and we need a street fixed. Thank you very much. That is my 2 cents.
How you feel the dust they affect you, like how you don't want businessman on the street?
Well, I do mechanic. I don't just live on the back. I can't drive back here slow.
Yeah.
Can't complain. Government no fix nothing.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to do for help, you know.
I want to fix the street, man, because I don't dust. I can worry about general share again. I have different people I did it right now. So.
Yeah, your 2 cents.
Yeah, my 2 cents.
All right.
My 2 cents is that this whole stretch right here need to pave, right? Because alone dust. The drivers and they don't drive slow and drive hard. So we need to pave this road there or make them fix the road because alone dust every day alone dust. And we don't tire right because the whole stretch right here need to pave. Yeah?
Yeah, your 2 cents.
Yeah, my 2 cents. So the whole stretch need to pave. Because we tire those alone dust.
Please,
every day.
All right. That's why I hear your 2 cents how the dust affect you on the street.
Well, the house full of dust. The house, you can't even sit down in the yard, all the white dust get in your face. Then you get sick, every minute you got cold. It's real. See, they leave there by the street. We put it there so that vehicle could try slow down to eliminate the dust. Because this is sickening women. It's tiring, this is embarrassing.
All right. So like I'm going to say, that not my 2 cents, no. That damn people 2 cents. I'm in mind my own 2 cents. And then stop me and tell me for them 2 cents, but for the street and how the dust they affect me.
Just a minute, just a minute. Hello, 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 hello. Just a minute. We're not ready. Welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Thursday morning, the 17th day of April 2025. And we have a caller on the line. Welcome, caller.
May I go on now?
Yes, ma'am. You may go now.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the whole country of Belize. We are hoping, and we would like to see a homegrown, born and bred Belizean go first across the finish line on Holy Saturday. I am riding with Poppy, but if Oscar Quiros and David Gonzalez come in, it doesn't matter because at least I know they are homegrown. Thank you very much and have a very good day. And I hope we have a happy Holy Saturday and a happy Holy Easter. Thank you. Have a very good day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. That sounds like the caller that calls every year and says the same thing. That we hope that it's a Belizean, Bahania Belizean, that comes across the finish line. As you know, the race is 2 days from now, Holy Saturday as it's called, and that's our special cross-country race. Our number here is 280-5848, and you're welcome to call in and to make your input this morning, 280-5848. We've covered a number of things, the hair, hairstyles and other things, recreation. We've talked a little bit about the LIU program for young men getting an opportunity to produce. Yes, welcome, caller.
Good morning, Nuri Mohammed.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. How are you?
Everything is blessed.
Okay.
You know what? I know Belize is a young, developing country, growth structure, government, courts, sociology, psychology, but those kids with that horse incident, I think Belize need to adapt certain things that they see, like in America, for example. For our first-timers, those kids are first-timers. They don't deserve to get no time, but at least they should get some type of counseling, like 52 weeks, like anger management. But I guess Belize to have a type of structure or programs for kids to do, like a suspended sentence and do a year of counseling. It will help more, but Belize need to catch up with the rest of the world when it comes to dealing with youths or offenders for the first time and how to do a court process, because things are being handled kind of unfair. People do domestic violence. These dudes get domestic violence. They got fines. Boom, and that's it. So we don't even know where their mind is for the future. They go back out there and do the same thing, repetitive.
Yeah.
They need to be accountable and pay some type of fine and go to some kind of counseling for domestic violence and even anger management. That structure needs to be embedded into the government of Belize. And you see, you can make money off of that government. You charge $25 a session. But that needs to be embedded into Belize, sir.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, actually, it is. Yeah, all right. We've had first-time offenders program before. In fact, we had an excellent first-time offenders program by the name of Youth Enhancement Academy that dealt with young males before they got into serious problems. They would go into this special facility for first-time offenders. That program was transformed into what is called Wagner's facility at the prison, where young males that have been arrested, instead of sending them to the main population of inmates, they would go to this special program called the Wagner's facility. And the Wagner's facility had specialized personnel there that would be catering to young males, just as you said, that needs counseling, needs to work with them, even after they've committed a crime. That program had outstanding individuals. I remember Mr. Castillo was there at one time. Mr. Abdul Nunez was there at one time. And of course, Mr. William Dawson was there at one time. So that program is within the Belize Central Prison. It's called the Wagner's Facility, and it deals with those offenders who are young in age. But what I think you're making reference to, in the States, these children would be, their ailment or their problem would be detected at a very early stage, so that even in elementary school, or what we call primary school, you would be able to see the trend of this child's behavior, and you would start moving him or her into special ed, special programs that would address these kinds of problems. We had done that also in Belize. That's what the challenge program was. That's what this rehabilitation program that the woman called earlier about. These were programs that realized that these children done with it certain things that were misbehavior. They were not necessarily criminal yet. I mean, what they did to the horse was criminal, but I'm saying they were leaning in that direction. And so these programs tried to capture these young people before they went into an adult institution. So you had, in the early days, a program called Listowel. You had Listowel. Listowel was a specialized program. It was run by religious people, by the way. The early Listowel was run by Adventists. And this was a program that took young boys that were leaning in a way that we figure if we don't catch them early, then going in a more problem. So this was a catch program for young boys called Listowel. And many young men went through the Listowel program and became attorneys. Some of them became engineers, others became other outstanding Belizeans. So it was a good program. Listowel it was called. Then we also had the Princess Royal Youth Hostel. That youth hostel was also a program for young males that eventually became young females also. But originally it was for young males, and it was for that same purpose, that catching them before they got bad, right? So my point is that we've had a number of these kinds of programs. Some of them have unfortunately not been sustained, and so the problem got worse. And when the problem got worse, then we needed more, maybe you would call it more aggressive programs like the CYDP, like later on the Youth for the Future, like later on other intervention programs that were dealing with youths after they had actually committed a crime. So the LIU, for example, is dealing with youths in both sides, those who had committed a crime and are trying to reform, and those who may, be on the edge still, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So it's not as if government is not doing anything. It's not as if government has not been trying to do something to correct the problem. Part of the reason is because most of these programs, like in other jurisdictions, they have to be sustained over a long period of time. They cannot be confined only to the 5-year periods of government. They have to be programs that are non-political, You need to have both political parties at the table, and you have to be able to sustain these programs beyond administration, because they're not 5-year problems, they're not 10-year problems, they're generational problems that needs a sustained way in which to address them. So it's not as if we don't know. It's not as if we are still trying to figure it out. It's just getting us to do it the way we know we're supposed to do it and sustain it over a long period of time. We'll continue the conversation when we come back. right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's a Thursday morning. It's our last show for this week because tomorrow is Friday and that's a special day and no one will be functioning except in quiet moments, I think, tomorrow. Anyway, we're here to talk about the Days of Healing, the 93rd Days of Healing. Man, this man deserves one kind of lead plaque or something, you know, Cliff. Just make this man know that a lot of men would have start and maybe get to 5 or 6, or maybe even 10, maybe even 20, but 93, this brother got endurance. He's, of course, Perry Sticks Smith, no stranger around this side here, so welcome, brother.
Yes, sir, but I know it.
Yes.
Please.
But of course, the star today, and I'm sure he went back up because this is the star. This is Miss Victoria Tun, Isabella Tun's daughter. If you want to go way back to when Isabella used to write for the Amandala, this is Isabella's daughter. Welcome, Miss Victoria. She represents a senior manager at Transparent BPO. That means Radical and all of them all come out to the same name, right? What do they call them?
All BPO industries,
All
yes,
BPO
yeah. The
industries,
BPO processes, yes.
Welcome, Ms. Tun. Can I spend a little time with you instead of Mr. Sticks?
You have to make it new. You have to big up his zinc fence link too.
All right. Okay.
She me work back at zinc fence.
Yes,
Me and Miss Tun used to be co-workers back at the zinc fence.
Right. See that?
I did.
I had promised myself when I said nothing in this session. Don't get in trouble already.
And about 9 years behind the zinc.
Yes.
Originally from behind the zinc fence,
Okay.
for sure.
All right, well then you don't mess up my program. So let's go back to you, brother. Tell us about the 93rd and I'll hear something from Miss Tun.
Well, brother Nuri, this will be the 93rd Days of Healing. You understand me?
Okay.
I would do this movement from 2013. 2013 Days of Healing started, you understand me? When it comes to the Easter, we start doing the Easter one from 2017. Because me, myself, personally, I'm able to, every Easter I can make on the key, even jump across the border in Mexico for a couple of days and think that Melcher, Playa, wherever, you understand me?
Yes.
I was fortunate enough, I'm in work, I had my lead job, you understand? I come see every morning and roll out for the Easter. But when I started the Day of Healing, I watched 2017, I see a year there, I'm like, yo, Sticks, this Easter you can't go nowhere. This is what I tell myself. I'm like, yo, the kids there need one Easter thing. Every Easter, you run out of Belize, a lot of people run out of Belize, but you have a lot of picnic left behind, never get one Easter basket. Understand me? Never eat one leave rice, never eat one leave piece of food, nothing. And this is the time of year where we're supposed to say one of the holiest times of year too. The resurrection of Christ, the death of Christ, the resurrection of Christ. Understand me? So in the times that we're supposed to be caring and giving.
Yes.
So from 2017, I say, you know what? Cancel all the Easter plans for yourself, right? Whatever money you save up for this Easter year, that's going into Days of Healing. And you do it right at the headquarters of the yard, open up the yard, make the kids then come have fun. Understand me? And most of the kids can't even afford to go to Belize Beach, go to Belize Beach. Understand me? Much less go to our key. So my yard big enough. We open up some pools, make the kids there swim, make them feel like they're in a beach.
Yeah.
Make them feel special. During the course of the day, of course, they have their food, their refreshments and things like that. Understand, brother Nuri? We make sure they get their Easter basket too. Because me, growing up as one kid, I feel special when I used to get my Easter basket. My mom used to have Easter baskets to me, my brothers, my sister. And we may feel good when we get for we Easter basket because it's our picnic. You bust open it and you go to the candy. Then you worry about the little knick-knack toys when like they in there, you understand me? So, me doing this Easter thing for the youth thing, I feel good, I feel special, you understand me? Because I feel like I don't still want you. And I watch when they get in a basket, sometimes like my mom, it said, boy, Perry, hey man, I forget to send the silicone paper for wrap around the basket then. I said, ma, you know we, man, how much time the years you know they're on picnic? He said, boy, I know that true, but I don't know worry about that the candy and the thing. All the paper in the wrong in the yard. I said, well, ma, well, I get some plastic to wrap up the basket then, but even if we don't have the plastic, the kids didn't get a basket. That's all they worry about. You understand me? They get a basket, they enjoy themselves. Yesterday, one, two youth come to me, say, Mr. Sticks, for we Easter party still there on? I watched them. I said, I don't know. They said, but Mr. Sticks, I don't tell all of my friends then we could come to your yard and you want to have some pools and we could swim up and things. Remember last year? And this is the first time he may come to the yard. Yeah. But the youth will come move around in our neighborhood and he done get that in for him brain.
Done ready.
Once he hears so it happen at Mr. Sticks yard, we going. Yeah.
Well, Victoria, you think you could catch up with this brother? Yeah, I mean, he rushed out of the gate.
I know. I've known Perry for, I think it's going to about 15 years now.
Oh,
I think, I've seen his work. I've been impressed with what he's trying to do and what he is doing. I mean, there's not a lot that will actually give all what he has been given. So, as a representative of Transparent BPO, we have a group that is, the name of it is Hearts in Action. And we try to find different things to the community because one of our core values is community. So we need to build our community. I mean, we have 1,500 workers right now, countrywide. So we have from every location coming into our sites. Our growth is about, hopefully by the end of the year, is to hit about 2,000.
Wow.
That is what our dynamics is. So building out something, like I said, I don't see it as a sponsorship with Perry. I see it as a partnership, something to build to the community. Have safe havens for these children to come in, to feel safe, to have things that we can give in back and say thank you to the community of Belize. And I've always acknowledged what Stick has done over these years. So when I went to my boss Mokazi and I said I have this this one team I really want to connect with, and we brought it to the group and everybody was like excited.
Oh, great.
Like this is what he does, this is what we can do. Let's do this as a partnership, let's build something.
So some of your staff members will be out there.
Yes, I have some staff members that are going on Sunday. And everybody is like, it's Sunday, and I said yes, but we're so excited. They're at work, they're wrapping the baskets, so they're doing everything. Everybody has like this joy because it's like just imagining already the children coming, and it's opening our eyes and getting that grasp of what next.
Yes.
Because I'm seeing this as this is here. Well, what are we going to do next? That's it. We want to make sure it's a great event.
So it might be a yearly thing.
Definitely. I'm not even thinking about a yearly thing. I'm thinking of a projection of another event afterwards. Things that we can give back to have, people to recognize, hey, this is happening. We're here to build something. We're here to make these kids come in and to growth to the community.
Well, that's a good image from corporate Belize to mix with a grassroots program like yours. That's excellent. What are some of the things? I heard you talk about pool, I heard you talk about Easter basket, but what are some of the other activities you will have?
Well, in the yard, we'll have some lead run race.
Okay.
So these sack race.
Are you on close off the street or everything on
No,
the
no, we're in my yard.
In my yard.
You understand me? So the kids, the yard 150 by 150. So they got enough space.
It's a huge area.
To run around, you understand me? We need to block off the streets, but we do everything, we isolate in the yard. You understand me? We have, of course, music. Some Belizean artists want to pass through. We have food, refreshments, we have some games and things for the kids, some activities. So besides the swimming, we have the lead run race, sack race, do some I don't know if we'll do find the eggs again, because the couple times I did it, before we even call it, the picnic, they don't find the egg. They don't find the egg, because during running around in the yard and thing, they start finding the eggs, and then they go up on their own egg hunt, you understand me? So 2 times I say, you know what? Egg hunt out of the question, because they don't start look for egg before you even call egg hunt. You understand?
I only can't hide egg, man.
No, man, look at it. You think they can't look? They picnic go look.
They want to hide the egg. I bet they can't find the egg.
Yeah, but you only take one picnic to find one egg. And trust me, when that one picnic come, and where you get that from, Nuri, you know, why am I find this over? So then time that it's hurt the searches arm, because I don't make them say, Miss Vicky me give me, or Mr. Sticks me give me, because then time just like picnic, I said start give out snacks. Mr. I could get one popcorn too, Mr. I could get some chips too, I could get one biscuit too. So when they know that, they go up on their own. Understand?
That's good.
But we have to make sure that they have a whole full day from 12 till 6. Just run up and down, enjoy yourself. As used before on the left, when I get on the lead Easter baskets and thing. And some of the youths that we can't make it to the yard, because what we always do, we send out some baskets down to PG, down to Griega, Mahogany Heights, back at Gongolongs, you understand me? Back at Farbers Road to serve community members and make them give out their own baskets to the kids as well too.
Yeah.
Understand?
Well, Sticks, this thing has been going on this 93, from 2013.
Yeah.
That's a long time, brother. And now I hear you referring to it as a movement, that you're kind of like evolving, you know, from just one event now, they call it one movement. And you're doing what, about 2 or 3 or 4 a year?
Brother Nuri, if you left, I don't want a month. I know days of healing every month.
Okay.
Every month we try push one days of healing.
And I know that you mostly concentrate in the city, but you've taken it out into other areas.
Yeah, we've been as far as Halakte borderline.
Oh, beautiful.
We did a days of healing with Halak down our Halakte borderline, along with my brother Wilma here and the Belize Territorial Volunteers.
So you're thinking
from
about
Guatemalans, from has back the Congo interact with the Halakte borderline days of healing. Yeah. We have gone as far north as to Orange Walk. That people stadium, we hosting a days of healing at people stadium with the boys then from back at town up that areas there. Understand me? We've been to different villages throughout the country. Sand Hill, you've been to the Sand Hill one, you've been to a couple of there.
Yes,
understand me? So we don't only deal with Belize in the city itself, we try to go out district, and whenever we go anywhere, we want to link with somebody. We're done to do the works what we do already. Somebody who have one passion for the community, we care and wants to see something happen. Understand me? So that's why, like the other day when Vicky linked me, hey, what do you want links? Boom, boom, boom. We want to link up with you. We want BPO start support you in a way to do, because for years we watch what you do. You understand me? And me personally, I know your heart sticks. I know what you do, and I watch it for years. And we're in a position right now, we could push some help towards you. So we greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate that partnership with BPO, you understand me? We thanks for that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, brother.
Yeah, and Transparent is either the biggest or one of the biggest of the BPOs in Belize, right?
Yeah, we're ranking on one of the top when it comes to the amount that we have, and like I said, expressing the growth that we're looking for in this coming year should be at 2,000 at the end of the year.
And you're giving support to Days of Healing, but are there other projects you plan to do likewise?
Yes,
projects?
we have we did some a couple weeks back when Ruta Maya was here. We did a cleanup service for Ruta Maya.
Okay.
So we had our Belmopan team that went out. Like I said, we have a team named Hearts in Action. And then we have another one that we're coming up right now, which is for the autism, that we're joining with a school collaboration right now to go into the schools to let us educate our own, understand, and as well to see what can we do to help the community. So there's a lot of different projects that we're working on, because we want to have a voice out there. We want people to understand, hey, we're here, what can we help you with? We're grateful for the people of Belize, because they're the ones that have made us successful, and that's the reality of it. If you look where our people are coming from, they're coming from all over. Our agents are from everywhere, and we're very, very grateful for them. And if it's not even impacting them personally, it can be impacting somebody to them. And that is our main hit, to say thank you for all of what they have done for us. And that's what we're trying to do, is to try to reach out to as many as where we can, spread it around Belize. You know, tell me, what are you guys looking for? How could we help you? And see what we can bring to the table. So a partnership with Stick it's for me, it's a partnership going forward.
That's good.
So whatever he would need, what it is, we'll work on it, see how we can take it, and go from there.
That sounds good. And you've been needing a major and consistent sponsor, and now you've got one, which is good, which is very good. We'll give you a last word, Sticks, whatever we didn't cover.
Well, this Sunday right here, because we know a lot of people like the things before the day. You understand me? Sunday that Easter. So this Sunday right here, any picnic, any community member could bring their kids 81 Vernon Street Call, make the kids then have fun, swim, run up and down, get their Easter basket, interact with each other. That's the main reason why we do Days of Healing, to have community members and kids interact and engage with each other, because in this society right now, we barely even talk to each other as neighbors. You have neighbors where you walk right past you and never say nothing to you. Understand me?
Yeah.
Because I got one neighbor who live right across the street from me, and for years, them people not say nothing to me. Only one person out of the yard would have bid me the time of day, but everybody else, and a lone woman, they don't say nothing. You understand me? But me as a person, I ain't no worry about that. But like, why they get that? We live in a society like we don't even worry about nothing or nobody. We're just selfish.
Yeah.
So Days of Healing, we try bring with communities together, bring people back together. Understand me? And I want to thank, before I go, I have to thank my old lady and my granny, because the barrels then come in and always, my granny, she don't know.
Name them people, that man.
Well, they know who that is, you understand me?
Yeah, but they know, but the rest of the people don't know who it says, you know.
You don't need, I thank my mom, you understand me? Miss Cecilia, Miss Cecilia Zetina, understand me? I want to thank my granny, Miss Gwendolyn Usher. Yeah, because my granny, when it comes to January and April, she don't know. All she asks in January, that what day the healing? Because she know every January we got a Parkcliffe neighborhood, Dean Street, where it all started. Yeah. And she know when at Easter, we always do the Easter thing. But throughout the rest of the year, when come next month, she said, boy, what part you want to do the healing this month, yeah? What part the healing one day? You understand me? Yeah. I want to thank my mom and granny for the barrels and what they send you with the Easter baskets and thing. I want to thank my home girl, Michaela, who also put together some Easter baskets for me. I want to thank Vicky for making sure BPO partner with me. You understand me? Because that's a big move right there. I want to thank the Minister of New Growth and Industry, Kareem Musa, his CEO, Ms. Cheryl Saldiva, Ms. Dominique Norales, Andrew Dawson, you understand me? The LIU. And we want to thank some of the community members there, where they're on the ground with way. Like my brethren Mace, he make the flyers, 90% of the flyers that we make, that my brethren Mace designed the flyers. And he now come to me and tell me, Sticks, give me $100 like this, that. I say, Sticks, I'll leave 25, man. I'll leave $20, you understand me? The people that will cook the food and thing, like my woman will want to cook the food, Miss Olga, I want to thank my brethren Timmy Stamp, because when it comes to Days of Healing, it no matter what power we there with Days of Healing. Yeah. Stamp one, bring one among youths from George Street. You understand me? Yeah. And Stamp one, they out there, he and be the one, because he like take over the activities, the run race, the sack race and things like that. He like be in charge of that. I want to thank the brother Footy Gongara as well too. Yeah. You have a lot of people for thank and thing, but sometimes people never like hear their name. You understand me? And sometimes we forget to thank, but we never do forget to look back. Yeah. Understand me? But again, people, this Sunday right here, from 12 o'clock till 6 o'clock, the kids then could come, and I know they want to come before 12 o'clock, brother Nuri. We plan to start put up the pools then from Friday, Saturday. So when the kids then see the pools up,
they want to start.
They want to call Mr. Six. We could swim before Easter. We could swim before Easter. And me, so party. I man go through, go take my lead dip. Man go through, go take my lead dip. Understand? Yeah. But this weekend right here, 12 to 6, 81 Vernon Street. You understand me? Days of Healing, the 93rd Days of Healing. And after 6 o'clock, because we're not there on no street or nothing like that. We're in a private yard, and when all the kids then go, we always have a big people party and thing for the adults.
The adults.
Understand me? Yeah.
So big people in the evening.
Yeah, because you know, brother, Nuri, every picnic party always turn into a big people party. You could have a christening for one baby. And you want to see the amount of adults we come with their long hand with our food and drinks. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
That's true though.
All right, so we encourage you, you know, if you have children in the neighborhood, by all means, the 93rd Days of Healing, Brother Sticks needs no introduction. He's been doing it over and over and over consistently. And we always give total support to him. Anytime he has to be on to advertise, he knows he'll get the space here. And I want to encourage other corporate citizens like Transparent BPO. This is not only through Miss Vicky, but through the very fact that you are getting a lot out of Belize, and it's good for you to put back in Belize. So I thank you very much for bringing that to your management and them accepting it. And not only your management, but your colleagues on the ground, they're also packing the baskets and things like that. So we appreciate
that's our big move, brother.
Big
Nuri.
step,
Big move.
big step. And
Because
this is
like
one of the huge companies in the country.
Wait, what the sister do? She make the big corporation. No, at the end of the day, that them people on the south side, that them people in them corners, they were everybody afraid to go. And then people work for we. And then people got for we engine the role.
That's right.
So why we can't make them people enough of them community have one leave for?
Yeah, exactly.
Understand me? They gonna work every day.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, not everybody in them communities are so worse are the worst and so terribles.
Yeah.
Because the internet, you think BPO may hire them?
Yep.
You think they may have functional at work and, hey, good morning, this is, no.
No, yes.
No, man.
Well, we speak the other language. Good morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What the hell, sir?
Thank you very much, Miss Victoria.
Thank you.
And this is Miss Isabella Tun's daughter. All of you used to remember her writings in the mandala. Remember, this is her offspring. Thank you both for being here. We'll take our next break and we'll be back.
In Belize, we
right, welcome back. This is WUB on a Thursday morning, and we welcome you to call. Our telephone numbers here, 280-5848. Good things with sticks. You know, public persons in Belize, and I think generally, have a hard time because people don't know you, but they talk about you like they know you. And so if you're a public person, meaning if you're a person that people know, you hear good things and you hear bad things. A lot of the bad things, they come from people who don't even know the person, but they hear one thing. So to be a public person in Belize and elsewhere, that's not an easy thing. Public people are almost like in a hot kitchen. Welcome, caller.
Yes, Sheikh Nuri, it's me again.
All right, my brother.
I want to just put on at least 60-second ceremony, as the brother say on the other studio. I keep hearing about Bukele and the maximum prison and a lot of people in pro and some against. I'm not a hypocrite type of person. I am pro Bukele for certain reasons. But I must admit that in Belize, all young men that people call gangwire, bad wire, this or that, etc., they are mature, they are amateur, they are little kids compared to the criminals out there in Central America. And I am telling you for what I know, not what I hear. I am a person traveled through entire Central America, even parts of South America, by foot, land. I not take a special plane or so. I go among the neighborhood in Central America and I see all these guys in action over there. Nothing compared. Belize could have never be compared. I need Bukele interception in Belize. No, that's not needed here.
Thank you.
For young men in Belize, they just need orientation, understanding, spiritual teaching, psychology, etc. They need to be taken care because a lot of these youth grow up like myself, but it's just that they may not fortunate enough to have people to show them, guide them, educate them. In my days, a lot of the adults show me and guide me. Yeah. And when I travel, I also meet people, good people. And as I was saying yesterday, Bob Marley said, life, this is what I'm trying to show the young men of Belize. Life is one big road, Bob Marley said, with a lot of signs. So when you travel to the road, don't you complicate your mind. Put your dreams to reality. That's also Bob Marley quotation. I did it in 1979. From 1977, I always wanted to be at sea. I want to work on the sea. I want to be a sailor. And 1979, I make it happen. So put your dreams to reality. So the point is, our young men don't need no Bukele. I respect Bukele in El Salvador, but I don't think that's needed here because our youth, I know a lot of youth that skull, but why? But then none of them ever do me no harm to me. I know a lot of them. I used to walk the night, go to Memorial Park on Sunday, go for afternoon and come back late at night. I pass through jungle. I pass through any area, Majestica, any area. Nobody known to me. They answer to me, yeah, brother, you got any incense for sale? And I continue my way. Nobody. So can't compare Salvador with Belize. Belize young people need guidance. And the last point I want to make, those three young men that unfortunately chopped the horse, I don't know if they were used some kind of drugs before they start to do that. I don't know, but I believe they need to be put in an intensive psychiatry study because you need to know why are they doing these things, you know, or if anybody send them to do it. But other than that, we straight. I tell you, Guatemala, Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, I live there already, and it's rough when it comes to gun. Right? So Belize is clean. You don't need all you need. I sometimes I'm blind, but sometimes I have so many experiences, Nuri, in my life as a youth and so, and I never fall in nothing you could call crime. So I wish sometimes I had the opportunity to go somewhere where I see these young men and talk to them. I done it when I was on the street, you know. I will wrap with this. When I was on the street, a lot of young people, including young girls, used to come around me. They want to them confess to me, they don't have no one to show them. They are home, nobody show them. Nobody got time for them.
Yeah.
Why young lady begged me for go and YWCA and like write you up, you know, to be responsible for her because my man don't care about me. If my man don't care what I do, if I want a night, he don't care. But I need to go to school. Can you help me go and YWCA? And I told her I had to think because that's a serious responsibility. I meet children of rich families where still don't have no guidance and they come to me and talk and some of them gone and come back happy. If you mean I thank you for that. I remember a doctor, but I don't want to call him. His son used to hang with me by housing. And I talk to him and I tell him, my brother, all you need is straighten up, you know, go and make yourself something. He was born in the U.S. I tell him, go to the U.S. and do something out there. He come back and tell me, he said, Brother Adam, I'm glad to see you. I'm back. I'm in the Coast Guard now. I tell him, congratulations. Make it.
Yeah.
One again, Brother Nuri. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, brother. In regards to the point he was making about Bukele, some people, when they hear me writing an article and saying Bukele is like trying to use a shotgun against a mosquito, I am not saying that Bukele and what he is doing in his area is something that he did not do as a result. Bukele and what he did in his area was a result of the kind of problem that he had. And even though he is being criticized by Amnesty International and others for going overboard, my point is that prescription cannot work in Belize because that prescription is for a high-end level of criminal activity. This M13 is a highly sophisticated transnational gang operation. Not the only boy where they run around with slippers and only boy where we deal with in Belize. Yes, they are a problem, but you don't take this big sophisticated apparatus here, which is the Bukele regime, and try impose that upon Belize. That not even makes sense. Our situation here, as this man has been saying, and now but the statistics that we have done, the studies that we have done, have showed the real reason why our boys and now girls get involved in gang activity, not because of this Bukele kind of operation here. Welcome, caller.
Yes. If Bukele didn't do what he's doing, the process would be slow. If he just individually just arrest people with the MS-13s in the 18 streets. And like you said, when you're doing with the MS-13s, they ain't nothing nice, because we got them in L.A. You deal them on an everyday basis, even in the prison. Everything is organized with the system in prison. You got the M. M stands for the Mexican cartel. You know what I'm saying? You got the North. You know what I'm saying? The Northern cartel. But when they're in the prisons, they beef a lot in South Central LA.
Yeah, but you know, I think the problem is that our situation began to get bad, and people felt that the various interventions that have been done over the years is not working. That's the way that people put it. It's not working. And in fact, the way you look at these things is based on statistics. And people will look and say, well, if the stats is this high, this amount of murder, this amount of gun violence, we need to do something different than what we're doing now. But much of what we're doing now is not going over a long enough period to make the difference that is needed to be done. You cannot take a generational problem that took years and years to develop to where it is and think you're going to stop that problem in a matter of a year, 5 years, or 10 years. It doesn't work that way. It's not human possible for you to be able to do it that way. And then people have been saying for the last 20 years, why we not bring back hanging? Why we not bring back flogging? Why we not lock them up in a Salamanca and then place there and make sure we not bring them out? If we do that, then we have solved the problem. But it will not solve the problem if at the base you still produce the same criminality, the same, in other words, as soon as you lock up this group here, you got one next group we're done there. So you've got to do a sustained long-range program that you're capping it from here and working with them all through this period. And it can be done, it's not impossible. But people are getting frustrated because they figure, and they blame both governments. Karim is not being blamed any different than Perifeet was being blamed, or the other police ministers were being blamed, right?
Mr. Nuri.
Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
You know, you know what makes my heart about the gangs in Belize? Belize City is so small. Sometimes I'll be on one of those town Belize City. My neighborhood is the same size as Belize City, from Crenshaw to Normandy or from Adams to Kings Boulevard. That's the size of Belize City. And I'm like, wow. And we got so many gangs that can't be controlled for some reason. My population, I hardly see my homeboys in my neighborhood. My neighborhood is so big. You know, I might see for a whole year or 2 years in one vicinity. But that place is so small in Belize. I mean, they gotta find some type of way. They probably need to use like those ankle bracelets for people on state of emergency. Put some ankle bracelets so you can monitor their location, their whereabouts. You know what I'm saying? If you want to confine somebody, put some home bracelets on, get more technology.
Yeah, but
you guys are getting more. You guys are getting more crimes solved because the cameras. You guys are getting. Trust me, within the 2 years, 3 years, you guys has been catching criminals a lot. I ain't gonna lie about that. I see that for myself on the news.
Yeah. Well, what we're saying, Carla, is that look, there's a lot that you can do at this interdiction level here. But when you look at these problems, say like when a sociologist looks at these problems, they don't only look at the crime, but they look at what is producing the crime, what is producing the criminal, what is the factor that you start to deal with that same mind that will get like that in 10 years or 15 years. You start very early. And you need to have programs, the intervention programs that we have starts usually when they're 17, 18, 19 or so. You need the intervention program that starts very early and starts working on it very early. You need to be able to identify where the because we can do it. We can do it. Just as when we get into the prison can tell you where this youth comes from. It can tell you what the background of this youth is. It can give you certain identity of the problem. And then you start not only dealing with him and his criminal behavior, but you deal with the environment that produces not only him, but many more. So we understood, for example, that it was $225 million, which would have been 250 million Belize dollars that was being given to Belize and still may get to Belize with this MCC program, that 80% of that was going into education. 20% into energy. But that 80% into education, the Minister of Education at the time, Francis Fonseca, said a significant amount of that money would have been working on these kids that are dropping through the cracks on the south side. They were going to have intervention programs that deal with these boys and try to address their problem at an early age, when they're 10, when they're 11, when they're 12 years old, or even before, because we could start seeing the signs at an early age. If we do that in a sustained way, we will see less of them falling through the cracks and becoming criminals. That is how you address a problem like that, rather than just the one police action every time, police action. Yes, with the police action, you will be able to stop a certain amount. But the point we're making is that the police will be chasing after the same next group that's coming up. Why don't we go and do some work on the ones coming up so that we don't have to be chasing them in 10 or 15 years? You see, it's only an approach that we're talking about. So the Bukele, as you're saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I got 30 seconds for you. You know what I'm saying? But another thing is causing us blacks to separate in these hoods. Just like in LA, this nickname called shortstopping on the block, when your same neighborhood, you in your own neighborhood, but now this new crack cocaine has caused a division between our own homeboys and everything, because you 2 blocks away got your crack cocaine and I got mine. We from the same neighborhood though, but I'm sure I'm getting the customers before they get to the real customer. You know what I'm saying? Which is your homeboy down the street. And it's causing us to divide against each other and kill each other right now. You know what I'm saying? This crackhead is a new thing that's making us blacks kill each other. That's another thing, Miss Nuri. I got to go, but I take it off the air.
All right, good. Thank you for the call a second time, brother. Yeah. That's another one of our issues. We'll say this just before we close off our program. When we're talking about ourselves, and I'm talking about black people, there are certain areas that we don't want to touch because we feel like when we touch those areas, we're being insensitive. And we are not acknowledging that there were a lot of things that caused us to be where we are. Like, for example, slavery and colonialism. There are certain persons that when you bring up that subject, they immediately begin to discuss you. Why dismiss you? Why are you going backward? Why can't you people overcome that? Why can't you get past that? And you keep using that like a crutch. Every time there's a conversation about you and black responsibility and responsibility of men, you want to bring up slavery and colonialism and these old arguments. When are you people going to get over that? This is how they talk to you. You're always holding on to that like a perpetual victim. You're always a victim. Everybody is doing something against you. So when people talk like that, it's as if they want to dismiss history and they want to act as if circumstances and occurrences in history has nothing to do with what's happening today. And it's almost as if they're saying you're using that as an excuse to maintain the status quo. In other words, you're keeping these people in their dysfunctional state because you're finding excuses for them to be in that state. And that's not true. But what do you do then? Do you say that slavery and colonialism, because it happened hundreds of years ago, that it no longer has to do with what's going on today? Do you say that the behavioral patterns of how we're raising our boys and our girls were not inherited from the past? Are we saying then that, we can somehow bypass what your parents did to raise you in looking at how you have turned out? Is it that we can skip over that, or we could dismiss that and just deal with today and not worry about how today comes from yesterday? Here's another call. Welcome, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Nuri.
Morning.
Well, big respect to all what you are doing, man. Very honest information about what more respect for, big respect to Ms. Yaya. I thought this man and I me to ask something a little bit.
Yes.
She was already over bridge coming the side, so.
Yes.
I know you are sort of to have the new you are bringing up to so you know, for us. I personally want to take out one of my ideas when people make work. I want to serve because I want to really experience and for health wise. So, big respect to Ms. Yaya and Ms. Day and everybody else. Respect and happiness for me.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Respect to that sister who is being, like I said, when you're a public person, you're being criticized. People will say all kind of things about you that they don't even know. But in the public, you know, they will say things. And sometimes it's hurtful because you would have known that. But you're being described as that. Your motives are being ascribed as you do this because of so and so. But analysis of our situation is necessary. And what is affecting an individual has a lot to do with that individual himself and the choices that he has made. What is happening sometimes with us collectively has a lot to do with what was going on in the past. So you can't think that everything is in the past to correct our present. But you got to also take what happened in the past as a part of describing what's going on in the present. You can't, nothing in the past matters, only what I'm doing now matters. All right, welcome, caller.
Yes, sorry to interrupt you, but Nuri, I only want to ask you, what, when did the young man say is the days of healing?
The days of healing is on Sunday. The same day as Easter. Yeah.
Okay, because I know some people at Bliss City, you know, I didn't wear corosal, but I know people at Bliss City that they have their kid and they might want to go or something like that.
Yes, man. Yeah.
Okay, my brother. Salam alaikum and enjoy your the weekend, you know, the long weekend.
Yeah, wa alaikum assalam. Yes. All right, look forward. All right, let's see. Yeah, so we have just enough time to close off. It's not a subject that we could really develop at this point. We got one more break. Yeah. So we're going to go out with this break. It is a long weekend. A lot of these subjects that we touch as much as we could touch it. We didn't come here this morning to discuss any of the particular topics that came up today. We just rolled with each topic that came up. We want to encourage you to be careful over this weekend. We lose a lot of our people over these weekends, and a lot of it has to do with drinking. Yeah, welcome, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Am I speaking to you, Mr. Nuri?
Yes, sir, you're on the air speaking to me.
I would like to speak to Mr. Muhammad.
Yeah, I'm on the air right now, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, brother, go ahead.
Mr. Muhammad, there's a problem that we have. We look at our own religion like that accomplished, and we resent them very much. We bring them down, like you said, in public in every way. They can't believe that a Belizean person could accomplish so much. They don't see the value in the Belizean person in helping them. One of the things that I find that is very crude about Belizean black men especially is that if we start trying to show them things and let them recognize things, the resentment is there and jealousy, like, you know, oh, you lying, you don't know what you're talking about and things like that. But
We have a real scar on us, and I don't know how we are going to get rid of it, because I suffer it a lot. I've done a great lot of things in my life. And when you're talking to them and you're giving them information for free that they will have to pay for, and they cannot even recognize that. They resent you instead. They dislike you. And it's really critical. I don't know. I think it's a self-serving thing to themselves, that they look in the mirror and they don't like what they think they are. They don't realize that they have so much ability. But this is what it is with our beliefs and black men. You know, look at the way we have our women with children all over the place. Look at the women with children from different men. That really annoys me. And the men just walk about like in our area. The woman is the one that is cleaning up the drains and stuff like that. Why should that be? They should be home minding the kids or something, not out there working, cleaning drain and sidewalks and all that. But that is the reality that we have here. People from other countries comes to Belize, and in no time they sit on top of the cradle. They go to the bank and they get the money, but the average Belize man is always going to be down there. The only time we recognize is when election, and then we sell our votes, and we're happy about it. I don't know what to say, man. I just wanted to say my little piece, because there's so much things I could say that is wrong. I'm in Belize. I accomplish. I don't have money, but I accomplish. I have done many things that could very help people, but it doesn't work like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Look, even the simple thing as the justice of the peace, these guys politicize it when it shouldn't be like that. They decide who they want and who they don't want. You are justice of the peace for life. If there's a crime that is committed, then you got to go through the process of Attorney General and the Governor General. But these guys, especially this crew that they have now, they decide who will do what and what will do who. I don't understand who gives them that power. Because the JP is supposed to be the person for the people. It doesn't have anything to do if they're super educated. But it is nice if they pay attention and try to study the law. Simple law, tort law. They just need to get a book and tort law that they can get in the library in any way and understand the fundamental domestic situation of the people of this country. But we don't even do that. And like I repeat, they politicize the justice of the peace. Oh, if you are not in this organization, then you don't count. That was not the idea of the organization. The organization was to have one voice for all of them who is a member or not a member. And I'm saying that because I am one of the guys that formed that whole setup where that JP thing is concerned. And he out there, I'm not in a position to call him, but he out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it will come back to bite him. It doesn't sound like saying it, but it's the truth. All of us are valuable. Every last one of us is valuable. And we should start to recognize the value in things. I walk the street, and anybody can stop and ask me any question. I'm more than willing to answer it honestly. But when these demons feel trouble, they start saying, spreading rumors, bringing you down, and then it gets, and you know, we are very conspiratorial people. By the time we get back to you, you have so much thing, even you is wondering, when did I get to do all that stuff? You know, but basically, sir, in reference to what you're talking about, that is one of our setbacks. We got to recognize our own people, especially this time of the world right now. We black men got to realize what our value and look at our other black brothers and try to get them to help us, whether it's literally or physically or whatever, but we got to learn to join forces, otherwise we will stay right back where we are and worse, because it's getting worse for us, very worse. Because those other people of other creed is running to Belize of its paradise, and they will destroy it. They will destroy it. Look at Placencia. Look at what they're doing. These people come here and decide they want to do this and do that. They don't even go through the ordinance that is there. They don't even respect, like in Crozat, these people don't even respect the 60 feet. They do what they like and want to stop you, and then somebody is foolhardy police. No disrespect to the police department, but we have some, for the grace of money, They come and they harass you because you're not supposed to be there, and when you stand up, they want to abuse you. I don't go through that because I'm not going to tolerate that. But this is the situation that we're having, especially in Cornwall. They took the complete beach all the way down and do exactly what they like, and nobody can say. All the people do is grumble because they're weak. But this is the problem that we are having. We are our own worst enemy. Not those people. We are our own worst enemy. And we need to pay attention to what we are doing for whatever little time that is left of us. Because trust me, brother, it's going to get harder. Much harder. Then we will know, like, you know how the old people say, you go know how barley grow. But anyhow, Mr. Man, I really appreciate you let me get to bend your ears a little bit.
All right.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, my brother. Good. Yeah. People have their issues, and, you know, at least here and other programs in the morning give people an opportunity to vent their feelings. All right, this is enough time for us. It's after 9 o'clock. We want to thank Larry Guerrero downstairs in the simulcast. Upstairs we had Alexi Belaid and the MCO, and of course Mr. Clifton Lewis. We thank the guests that came in today. That is our brother Sticks, Perry Smith, and of course Miss Victoria Tun from the Transparent BPO. Belizeans, stand strong and stand firm, as we tried to say earlier before the call. We want to be safe this weekend. A lot of our problems happen with alcohol. And we have to keep saying that because that's what the statistics are saying. So please, be in control of yourself. Be careful on the roads. It's a wonderful time for us to enjoy our annual cross country. I'll be out there, and I'm sure that you will likewise. Belizeans, stand strong and stand firm and do the right thing under all conditions. For now, we're gone.
Take a deep breath.